Welcome to our panel discussion about critical thinking and equity as a math initiative turns 5. 5 years ago, during the fall of 2016, we introduced an alternative, less time, less money developmental math pathway for students pursuing less math-intensive educational objectives. One term and one course instead of the gold standard 2-course, 2-semester sequence for math-intensive majors. This was not a small undertaking. It was important to position this not as a criticism of the proud tradition, but an enhancement of the same. It could not include all the content of the 2-course sequence, but it had to include the correct and sufficient content, not only for subsequent math courses, but also for social, behavioral, and natural science and CTE curriculum, for which this serves as prerequisite. What should stay in and what should be left out? Was it possible to introduce additional critical thinking, group problem solving, and technology into the delivery? Could this genuinely increase the equity efficacy of our developmental math program? How are the proper students advised into this course? My professional colleagues on the panel were frontline student-facing pioneers in this multi-year effort and will be key players at point and subsequent time slots. I asked them to reflect and discuss their experiences involving critical thinking and equity and technology in this setting, and to speculate about the future involving transitional math legislation, dual credit currents, and placement mandates, and to respond to your questions. Please allow a personal, concise flyby of these similar topics. Whether our students are math intensive or not, we are charged with helping them be socially conscious and informed world citizens. My favorite critical thinking group projects involves such considerations. The Paris Climate Accord is also 5 years old. This international effort attempts to stem global warming by targeting CO2 concentrations, which in November 2020 hit a world record of 415 parts per million. Nature's way of controlling this involves photosynthesis, wherein CO2 is recycled into oxygen. Rainforests in Brazil, for example, are major natural engines for the CO2 conversion into oxygen that we breathe. But these are being cleared to provide grazing lands for cattle, which are being raised for beef exports worldwide. The first question of 2 in this project was, how much Brazil rainforest is compromised so you can consume a grass-fed quarter-pound Brazil beef hamburger? And how does this area compare to our BIC classroom? Now, there are many other factors, and the second question in this project addresses one of these. The daily carbon dioxide emissions from O'Hare takeoffs cancel out what amount of Brazil rainforest daily carbon dioxide recycling? What fraction of the DuPage County land area is this? Critical thinking is as difficult as it is important. It's difficult for students and for instructors alike. And this is a recreation of an actual scene I observed where a tiny matron in one of my 046 classes was arguing with a COD football star during a break about their project. You see, that class was composed almost entirely of COD student athletes and mothers returning to the workforce after raising their families. Both groups are in a hurry. In this case, we're not bound for math-intensive careers. Last but not least, technology. Technology is both useful and dangerous. It is best learned by using it. It must be available and supported. And as preparedness is very unequal, it'll take time. Results will vary. Looking to the future, my crystal ball is cloudy. Rapid change is inevitable. I don't know much, but this I believe. There's not a silver bullet, and solutions must be student-focused and responsive, and this cannot be rendered in a math silo. It involves collaboration with everyone. Let's listen to the experts in this order before closing with Q&A.